Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on PS5. Tonight it's round 11. We're heading home to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. So here we are then, ready for our home race, Lewis and George's home race, and kind of technically the team's home race as well. And yeah, I'm hoping for a really good result. I'm hoping for a nice, quiet, drama-free race tonight, because it's been a little while since we've had one of them. It's got a little bit hectic over the last couple of races. We've had some big incidents, we've had some big mistakes, and we've had some big fights on our hands. And yeah, it'd be nice just to get both cars home at the top of the grid tonight, and in a drama-free fashion. So let's see what happens. Evening to everyone in the chat. Got VXR and RDub. Zane is here. Horrific is here. Good to see you guys. Let's have a quick look at where our car sits on the grid. Looking very strong. As always. High speed has taken a little bit of a dip. We're down to just third in the high speed, but that's okay. It's still very, very good. Brake cooling and engine cooling have definitely improved over the season. You can see we're fifth in brake cooling. That's taken a little bit of a dip against a couple of the other cars on the grid. We were first for a while, but engine cooling has definitely improved up to seventh. That's good. That'll help prolong the life of our engines, stop them overheating quite so quickly, reduce the wear just a little bit. I'm liking the look of that. That is all good stuff. We have plenty of parts being manufactured, as you can see. Lots and lots of spare parts on the way. Some of these are new parts. Some of these are replacement spares. And we're also working, as you can see, on a Mark IV front wing and a Mark III rear wing. We got those started last time out. Still just over a month away on those. But we have got some research that will be coming up and completing very soon as well. So let's see how things go for tonight. I want to check I've got everything on the cars, because we have gone through quite a few spare parts. It looks as though we've got spares for everything. So both are running the Mark III chassis, both are on the Mark III front wing, the Mark II rear wing, the Mark III side pods, the Mark III underfloor, and the Mark III suspension. So we are a little light on a couple of spares, but as I say, we've got spare parts and new parts coming. So we'll see how we do. Victor's here as well. Good to see you, Victor, and Davito. Good to see you. Right, let's set some targets for tonight's race. So the incentive is 1 in Q2. Yeah, that's going to be very easy, I think. We're going to go for 2 in the top 4, and both cars into Q3. There we go. The incentive is 1 in the top 4 for the finish position. Now, normally I'd say that would be absolutely straightforward and simple, but given the last couple of races, maybe not. We shall see. We will definitely get the fastest lap, I think. Well, I hope we'll get the fastest lap. A new finish position streak, 2 in the top 6 for 2 races, and we'll set a new quali streak. We'll go 2 in the top 4 for 5 races. There we go. I think that is everything we need to do. Yes, it is. So, let's head to Silverstone.
Welcome, and come on in to the home of British motor racing. We're here in legendary Silverstone, where the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix was held back in 1950. It's a place where every tuft of grass breathes motorsport, and the crowd are already crackling with excitement. Silverstone is a power circuit. It demands downforce and total confidence in the car for a driver to keep their foot planted through Sector 2, through the high-speed corners at Woodcote and at Copse, and carrying on through Maggots and Beckett's. Lance Stroll was the victor of the last race and thoroughly deserved the win. Can the Canadian-born driver handle the pressure this weekend? It's time then for another thrilling weekend of F1 drama.
I completely forgot Stroll won the last race. Oh my god, how did I forget that? Oh, wow. Okay. Right. We're going to put Teo in for Lewis today. And let's have a little look-see. Well, I did say I was going to put him in just for George, didn't I? Because of Lewis's... no, we bought him the extra components. So, yeah, that's fine. Right. Plus, George has had a shunt, so his car not looking quite so healthy, as you can see. A little bit of damage to his ERS unit. Still got that spare ERS to use. We're trying to wait until Hungary, I think, before we use that. How far behind is Lewis? I'm not 100% certain off the top of my head. We shall check in just a moment. Let's start off though by getting these cars set. So if we are putting Lewis on the back seat for this session, we want to switch to softs. We want to overfuel. Let's go 25 laps. There we go. And we'll stick with the hards for George. Normal run plan for Silverstone is 17 laps. There we go. And let's start working on some setups. So I have 4 setups in this year's book. So we'll start with the first of them, which is a 6, 11.5, an 8.2, 3.4, and a 0.65. There we go. And let's swap out the parts. So we'll go with the 19% practice engine. And that's ERS unit there. And we'll stick with the gearbox that's in, because 1% will not last. Okay, and for Lewis, we'll have to go with a 16.8% engine and a 47% gearbox, sorry, ERS, and the 3% gearbox will last this session. So we'll just use the last of that up. Right. Oh, we need to put a setup on this car as well before we forget. So let's try something a little different. We'll go with a 5.5, an 11.5, a 9.1, a 3.15, and a 0. There we go. Let's jack up, put an 11.5 on that rear wing. I did. Good. Right. Let's send them to the track.
So radio check.
Copy, radio check.
That's loud and clear.
Radio check.
Yeah, all good.
Radio's loud and clear.
And avoid all curbs.
There we go.
Avoid all
Right.
curbs.
Got a few more people popped into the chat. We've got Aussie Potato, Bakiris here, Harmony, good to see you guys. Madness and Insanity, yes, as always. Right, okay, Porsche is not quick enough. Let's swap them over then.
Do we need it?
There we go, he's off and running. We want to see what the standings were like. So, going into this weekend, George has a 38-point lead over Lewis. It could have been a lot smaller, but we had some issues in the last race with Lewis. Obviously, he missed out on the win with that big lock-up, and I can't remember where we fought him back to in the end now, but yeah, Stroll got the win, of all people. What a weekend we've had on Formula One, though. Red Bull's dominance is finally broken. It won't last for long. I'm sure they'll be back to normal speeds in the next Grand Prix. But yeah, it was nice to see somebody other than the Red Bulls getting a win this season. And it was an exciting race. There was some drama. There was some great tactical battling going on. You have no idea how much I was jumping up and down, bumping the air when Liam Lawson knocked out Max in Q2. Oh my god, that was fantastic. And he got his first points as well. Was it 9th place he finished in the end?
Check when you can.
Right, 90% Teo. That's not bad. Let's call him in. But yeah, real drama all the way through. So sorry for George. He wasn't the only one who hit the wall. Lando hit the wall right in front of him, but just managed to get away with it. And George hit it, and that immediately broke his suspension. And that was it. Race over. A horrible way to end what had been a really, really strong race for him. With only half a lap to go as well. That's the worst thing. Right, I'm going to try switching this to an 8.2. I think. Go to a 3.45 there. And a 0.75. Let's see, what does that do? I'll go to a 6. That is too much. That is way too much. Okay, so we'll drop that back to a 5.5. Let's drop that to about there. Let's bring that to about there. And let's go back to a 9.1 as well. And let's give that a go. See how that works. I felt Mercedes was the best car on the grid. They did have great pace, and they did have that extra set of brand new mediums, which nobody else on the field had. So, yeah, it was. It was inevitable they were going to be the quickest. It was just, finding their way through the traffic, and in the end, they just couldn't quite do it. If George had got that when he got alongside Lando with three laps to go, 4 laps to go, if he'd been able to just stick that move, he'd have won the race. And I think it's possible Lewis would have got by, very quickly afterwards as well. Carlos Sainz, very clever, constantly, deliberately backing up the pace to keep Lando in his DRS, to help Lando hold back the Mercedes. Not necessarily out of any real love for Lando, but he knew that if the Mercedes got past him, then they'd be all over Sainz. So, very clever, very strategic. And, he clocked that straight away. That was his decision. That wasn't the team's decision. It was very, very quick and very, very clever of him. Was there a stream on Friday? There was. And you'll never guess who won the Grand Prix. It's not who you're thinking. Ricciardo needs to watch his back once again. Lawson looks promising. Well, the rumours flying around are that it's going to be Ricciardo and Tsunoda at AlphaTauri next season, which is understandable. It's also a little disappointing, I've got to say, for Lawson. I think he definitely merits a chance in the team on the grid next season, but there are just no seats. That's the problem. I mean, Logan Sargent's seat is yet to be confirmed, and then the only other 2 seats that are yet to be confirmed are the 2 AlphaTauri seats. And there are 3 drivers at AlphaTauri and only 2 seats. Ricciardo, Tsunoda and Lawson. And I can't see any of them getting in the Williams, so... yeah. I don't know. I would imagine, you know, we're going to see Logan back on the grid next year. I'd be amazed if he does get the axe, but we shall see, I suppose. Let me quickly go to my channel page and just double check. Farah. Go to my live page. Yeah, it's there. Streamed 2 days ago. Round 10.
Check the tyres.
See, no one say anything to Farah, but see if you can guess who won the Grand Prix. I guarantee you will be very, very surprised. It wasn't us. We didn't win with either driver.
If we can have a balance check.
Right, 99%. That is excellent. So just need a little click of toe, and that car is nailed. Which way to go? Let's go that way. And that is Teo done for today.
Temp's okay.
We are close to getting feedback for George as well. And there we go. We have nailed George's setup. With a little bit of a guess as well, which is very nice. Right. There's your race winner. Getting the 100s from Sarad up there for getting George's setup nailed. Okay, so Sites has a penalty going into this Grand Prix, as does George. I forgot about George's penalty. So we might possibly slap that new ERS unit in here. I don't know, it's only a 3-place penalty. Well, in theory, it's only a 3-place penalty, but we saw what happened with Lewis after the absolute farce of Barcelona. So, yeah, if it's more than that, we might just slap his new ERS in this weekend. Right, we need to get rid of that gearbox now, because that is not going to last. There we go, so we'll go on to that gearbox. And with Lewis back in the car, we're going to go for a full run. So we're going to go 36 laps of fuel on the hard tyres. George is going to run for, let's see, 26 laps should be more than enough. What was the gap between Lewis and Max at Silverstone in 2021? I don't know. Off the top of my head. Yeah. You have to ponder if Stroll on borrowed time. His dad must be thinking, this isn't working, I need to think about my team. Well, you would hope, but, you know, I don't think that is going to be the case. I think Lance has got a seat as long as he wants it. For as long as he wants it. I don't think he'll ever get fired by his father. His father bankrolled his entire career. You know, he's not just suddenly going to pull the plug at this stage. I mean, he bought him a team, for crying out loud, and he's building that team up. He's not going to suddenly turn around and go, no, you know what, yeah, you're just not good enough. He might possibly give him a deadline of, right, once this team is super competitive, you have got X amount of time left, but, you know, to prove that you deserve the seat, but, you know, the car's not there yet. It's not a race-winning car.
Let us know what your thoughts are.
Right, we went the wrong way with Lewis, so we can correct that at the end of the session. But yeah, I think pretty much as long as Stroll wants to go racing, his dad will continue to keep him in the team. And where else can he go? I mean, based on the current grid, he could go back to Williams, and I'm sure, you know, he would come with a nice little financial incentive package from his father, but he's never going to race for another top team. Could you trust putting Stroll in the car when his dad is the owner of your competition? No, it's not a chance.
Something doesn't feel right.
Oh, what's that new secret project that we're working on here at Ferrari? Oh, okay, I've just got to go make a quick phone call.
No, we'll just get back to you.
Good evening, Mr. Water. Good to see you. Alright, there we go. So George is done for this session. I want both my drivers to have full confidence going into this because it is their home Grand Prix. And we need a strong result. Has got a little bit bonkers recently.
Temperature okay? Surface temps are low all round.
Nice not to have your PS5 beeping when you switch it on now. Yes. Yeah, I've enabled the stealth the stealth switch on. It's nice to have parties back to a previous build kind of thing as well, where you open up a party and it notifies everybody that you want to invite into it. I like the change. More often than not, when you're in a group and on the older system, when you open up a party, then there wasn't necessarily a knowledge of who that party was opening for. I mean, if you've got like a big group of people and you see one of your friends online, who's in that group, you can open the party up, but it doesn't necessarily directly notify them that you want to talk to them. It just, the party's open and maybe someone else is going to jump in. And I've never been a big fan of them with doing the chat system that way. I'm glad they've kind of gone back to a more individualized kind of notification system for that. Alright, so final session. Soft tyres for George, 22 laps of fuel should be more than he needs. And Lewis is on the mediums, and his session actually finished a little bit earlier than I was expecting. So we need to go quite long on fuel again. We'll go 35 laps. And let's send them out. Marcel's here. How you doing, Marcel? And later this week, probably Friday, instead of doing a round of the championship, we're going to do a race replay, and we're going to replay this weekend's Grand Prix, and we're going to do both parts of it. So obviously the race replay, the starting grid went live today, so people who own the game can now redo the Grand Prix from the start of the five lights going out, if they want to, and then the race moments will be added at some point in the next few days. So that will be our plan for Friday, will be to redo Singapore and also do the race moment as well, and that'll be Friday's stream.
If you can give us a balance check.
There we go, that is another 100% setup. Let's call Lewis in. Not Lewis, sorry, George.
We've got a yellow flag here.
We've got a spin.
Let's take a closer look. Now we're watching Esteban Ocon here. And that's the moment they lose it. And there's not much they can do about that now.
That's a big spin. Aussie Potatoes, F1 needs a Singapore. Lewis wins his 8th and Seb comes out of retirement to join Lewis at Audi. Yeah, Lewis isn't going to go to Audi. Seb coming out of retirement to go to Audi. Maybe. It's possible. Right, let me check George's setup, because I think this is a new one. Let's have a look. 5.5, 11.5. It is new. But it's not that far off his starting setup. There we go. That's in the book. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Mick makes his way over to Audi. Although there is definitely a family history with Mercedes, not just because his father drove for the Mercedes F1 team, but his father also started his career racing with Mercedes in the DTM. So yeah, I wouldn't be. It's I don't know if Mick doesn't have that unless that connection as such. I don't think there would be anything wrong with him driving. It's not like, for Audi, I don't think it's like he's going against the family or anything like that. But yeah, we'll see. Be very interesting to see what happens with Mick, whether he does end up at Audi. Partnered up alongside Seb could be an interesting combination. Seb has always wanted to act like a mentor to Mick, in the same way that Michael kind of acted a bit of a mentor for Seb. But you got Hulkenberg in that equation as well, another German driver who is desperate to join the team. So yeah, who knows? Should be very interesting. Well, there we go. Both our drivers with 100% confidence going into qualifying. Let's put on the good stuff.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
The high-speed corners at Silverstone are a great challenge for the cars and drivers. The technical Sector 1 rewards strong mechanical grip, while high-speed aerodynamic efficiency will come into play in the final two sectors.
Now, there's been a bit of talk lately about Oscar Piastri. Karun, how's he been doing?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
And with that, let's get back onto the track.
Right then. 81% engine is going to be absolutely fine. 76% ERS is fine, and we'll go with a new gearbox. There we go. One lap is all we should need to get through the session. Let's sort out Lewis's car. 89% engine. I'm going to use this ERS for quali, and then we might swap it out for, well, we will swap it out for the race. And likewise, I'm going to use this gearbox for quali as well, and then we'll swap that out for the race. Just get that last little bit of competitive life out of those parts before they hit the 40% drop. Teo or Felipe could go there as well. Well, Felipe definitely is a contender. He's in the young driver program for Alfa Romeo. Felipe is the reserve driver for Aston Martin, so less likely.
Let's just focus on the outlap.
Yep. We should do some work on the brakes.
Alright, copy that.
Get the delta negative. So box, and call the car.
Alright, so Lewis is a 125.3.
Just get that delta negative.
Russell a long way off. He must have got a hell of a lot of traffic. In fact, I see a Haas behind him, so yeah, he must have hit some traffic. Russell might need to run again. What have you been up to at Wales, Farah? You've been rallying. You can still go rallying at 20 miles an hour. It's just not a very exciting rally. Well, I suppose it depends on what kind of mode of transport. I'm sure, rallying at 20 miles an hour on kicks would be absolutely terrifying. Russell is a little bit risky, so we are going to send him back out, just to be sure.
That's a checkered flag.
Russell is in the drop zone here, but he's improving. No improvement in the middle. For a second with that delay, I thought, God, don't tell me George is out, and then he jumps up to 7th. I was a little worried for a second then. But he's still a long way off. He's got all the right parts on. I think he does. Yeah, engine's fine, gearbox ERS, he's got all the right body parts on. Alright, let's try again with George. See if we can get him through first time this time. His tyres have done an extra lap, which isn't ideal. We'll send him out first this time. And let's just keep an eye on this time, just to make sure we don't get more traffic issues. We have got an Alpine making its way out of the garage. So there is the potential for another bit of
all clear. So you're good to go.
hijinks and shenanigans. Right, slower than Lewis, but then tyres are 10% worse, so not a major surprise there. He's going to clear the AlphaTauri of Ocon quite easily. Should be plain sailing, smooth running all the way through to the flag now. Little lift for Lewis there, but still purple. I think this could be Lewis's weekend. A 126.0. Let's see what Lewis does. 125.5. Again, difference in tyres is not insignificant, so
just keep an eye on that delta. Box, box.
As long as it's enough to get him through, which it looks like it will be, that's all that matters. We'll have fresh tyres for the next session. Oh, big lock-up for Sainz.
Let's follow the drivers then through turn 16.
Is that starting his flying lap or finishing his
Well,
flying lap?
you could see the lock-up. They took a gamble, and it was just too late.
That was starting his flying lap, I think. No, that was finishing his flying lap. He abandoned his lap. He must have damaged his tyres quite significantly with that lock-up. So, once again, Sainz in trouble. We're gonna watch Sainz because he is bottom. Well, actually, Leclerc is in trouble at the moment as well. He is also in the drop zone. Right, so Leclerc about to start his flying lap. Brand new tyres for everyone. Sainz is still on the hanger straight at the moment. It's going to start winding up in a moment. Improvement for Leclerc in the first sector. Gets past the McLaren without any issues. Got a Williams coming up next. Can he clear him before Maggots Beckett's? Yes, he can. The Sainz now starts his flying lap with 30 seconds left on the clock. And Sainz has got traffic. Oh, this is bad for Sainz. That's really bad for Sainz. Meanwhile, Leclerc coming up to the line. And only goes P10. Ooh. So, one Ferrari is definitely going out. Could it be both? Tsunoda's on a flying lap. Could Tsunoda knock out Leclerc? Sights up in both sectors. Magnussen's on a flyer as well. Here comes Sights. And Sights is only 11th. Okay, Tsunoda. Can Tsunoda knock out both Ferraris? Live timing needs to be in the game. Yes, it absolutely does. I've been saying that since not long after the release of the first game. Tsunoda goes P11, so he splits the Ferraris but can't beat them. Magnussen has got a potential chance. No, 13th. And that's it.
P6.
But once again, it's another disappointing qualifying for Sainz, and Leclerc sneaks through by the skin of his teeth. And Sainz has got a penalty as well, don't forget. So he needed to make Q3. Right. Compounds. We're going to use the old tyres to set a banker lap. And then we're going to do a couple of laps on the new tyres. Leclerc out early this time. He's right behind Lewis.
Coming.
Alright, George is looking quick. Leclerc is going purple at the moment, I think.
So we'll just get that.
126.0 for George.
And we will box into this lap.
Oh, yeah, slow lap for Lewis. He definitely had some traffic. Leclerc got held up quite badly at the end of that lap as well. So George currently sitting on provisional pole. He isn't at peak confidence. Lewis a little bit behind, and it's a bit chaotic at the moment with everyone fighting on track for position. But we're about to slap on some new tyres and set some competitive times, because 126.0 is not quick enough. As you can see, half a second off Alonso, Gasly. Verstappen also ahead of George. Perez also getting held up. A lot of people getting held up. Alright, new tyres. 2 laps. Got to send them straight out. There we go. That's George going out. And there's Lewis. So, what can our drivers do on fresh rubber? You may have to go in a minute. Well, qualifying is almost done. See if you can at least stick around for the quali. Lewis with the edge at the moment. Purple in the first sector. Russell purple in the middle. Lewis coming up to the splits. And it's not purple in the middle, so it's going to be close between these two again. Oh, your Wi-Fi is going to cut out. Ah, that's a shame. Okay, so George provisionally is P2. So the 125.4, 19 thousandths of a second slower. And Lewis also slower, 0.2 slower. But he has just sneaked into peak confidence. Russell maxed out on confidence. Got a warm-up lap and then another flyer. Got some traffic on the track. I think they're also on outlaps though. I don't think anyone else is pushing at the moment. So it should be a clean run, no hold-ups. Is Alonso in the garage or is he on a flying lap? Oh, he's just starting his flying lap now. And he's setting a personal best in the first sector.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
So the circuit should be all clear.
No improvement from Alonso in the middle sector. George now starting his flying lap as Alonso passes a Williams. And now Hamilton starting his flying lap. It's clear run to the flag for Alonso. Can he maintain pole? He goes purple in the final sector. But it's not enough to improve his time, I don't think. It's not. He is not improved. Meanwhile, George is purple in the first. No improvement for Lewis.
So you've taken the checkered flag.
No improvement in the middle for Russell. What about Lewis? Needs to find some time here. No improvement again. Russell's coming up to the line. And someone's gone P1, gone purple in the first. I think that might be the Ferrari, maybe. George cannot improve. He stays P2. Hamilton stays P4, Stroll is in P3, Alonso in P1. Where has this pace from Aston Martin suddenly come from? Neither driver's running brand new engines. This is genuine pace. They must have brought a big upgrade package here. Wow, there we go. Leclerc is only 8th. 9th now as Perez improves. Well, we said 2 in the top 4, and we only just managed that. Ooh, we've got a race on our hands. George with the penalty as well means it will be a front row lockout for Alonso and Stroll.
Tension continues to build here as race day begins.
Silverstone is certainly a circuit rich in Formula One history. From Giuseppe Farina winning the first championship race held here in 1950, right through to Lewis Hamilton's 2008 masterclass on racing in the rain.
Now, in terms of George Russell, Karun, how do you think he's going to be feeling going into this race?
I think it's really great to see them performing at this level, well above what we'd expected. They must be feeling good.
This is sure to be quite the spectacle then, and we've got a front row seat for today's race here at Silverstone.
All right, moment of truth. Is it just a 3-place penalty? It is. Okay, so we'll just stick with that then. We're not going to stick the new ERS in here. We will wait for Hungary as planned. Strategy-wise, one stop is doable, but while it is fractionally quicker, tyres are a bit more of an issue. So, I might go with the 2-stop. It's only a second slower. Yeah, will give us fresher tyres. Let's start on the mediums, because then it gives us the flexibility to maybe switch to a 1-stop, depending on how things are going. We'll do the same with Lewis as well. There we go. In terms of fuel, we're going to take 3 laps of fuel out. Oh, we are starting on medium, so yeah, no, we'll leave mostly out for now. Okay, right, well there we go. Starting 3rd and 5th. Behind a front row lockout for Aston Martin. It's going to be a very interesting British Grand Prix. Let's see if we can win.
The British Grand Prix is nearly upon us. The drivers composing themselves on the grid ahead of 52 laps around Silverstone. The anticipation and excitement may be building up, but there's a cool head on Carlos Sainz.
This could be a testing race. Yes, they could make something from this, but no mean feat when you start in P17.
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today.
Yeah, not a great start for
Hold on tight.
Sainz down in
It's
17th
the British
place.
Grand Prix.
Looks like both Astons are on mediums as
Lights
well.
out, and away we go.
So at the moment we don't know what strategy they're going for. Russell has got alongside Max. Who's also on mediums. So everyone's on mediums apart from the Alpines, Perez, Schumacher and Ricciardo. And we are sitting P3, P4 at the moment. We are going to tell George not to fight Lewis in these opening laps. What happened to George in the last race? Too much damage. Had to retire him. I forget who he crashed into, but he did crash into someone. And we have a yellow flag already. Briefly, someone just running wide. I think that might have been that was Bottas.
So this is what happened. Now this was Valtteri Bottas. Oh no! Wide they go.
Whoa, he wasn't the only one.
Hopefully not
There
a
was a
sign of
Haas
things
running
to
wide in the
come.
background as well. I thought I saw a Haas dropping positions. as Verstappen is under pressure and passed by Alpine. Okay, so Alpines are on the softs. That means we're going to have to go a little earlier than planned with the battery. Otherwise, George is going to be vulnerable.
Use the overtake.
Yep.
Gasly's going to be lining up a move on Verstappen in a moment as well. Also on those soft tyres. So the Alpines are almost certainly going to be two-stopping. I just don't know what's going on with the Astons. They could be two-stopping, they could be one-stopping. It's unknown at this point. As we are starting to just stretch a little bit away from Ocon. Still got a lap's worth of battery to spend as well. We've just gaming. Okay, fastest lap for George. Tucked up in the slipstream of his teammate there. And now we should start to get a little bit of a battery advantage. So let's just put George into harvest mode for a moment. See if Lewis can make the move on Stroll here. Have a try. We go around the outside. Chapel, no. No, that's not Chapel, that's Cox, isn't it? Tries to go alongside. Down the hanger straight. Can't quite get him into stow. And that's Lewis pretty much out of battery. So, he's going to have a go.
Getting that pack back up.
Understood.
Can't quite do it. Okay, so we're going to harvest mode. Let's start saving some fuel. Let's cool the tyres down. Let's do the same with George.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off on that time.
Understood.
Is this better than 2022? Yes, it is.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
And it is currently 25% off for the deluxe edition on PlayStation Store as well. Right, we're just lacking a little bit of pace at the moment. Peak confidence against just very high confidence. So we're going to switch the drivers over. Could have been done better. Never mind.
Pick up the pace.
See if we can at least keep Lewis close enough.
Let's just keep our heads down.
And Hamilton has been overtaken by Ocon.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Just charge the pack.
So, not a great start for Lewis. Confidence just isn't there at the moment. Russell is going to be under pressure from Ocon on those soft tyres. Oh, and Ocon makes a mistake. That's a big mistake for Ocon.
And think about left lifting coast.
Stroll is just about out of DRS range as well. Keep an eye on that gap along the Wellington straight here. It's coming down, so he must have just kept the DRS. We're slowing George down a little bit here, just to let Lewis get into range to help protect him from Verstappen. Lewis doesn't have battery at the moment. Go.
If we could just drop back a bit.
The missing last few days, just saw Russell did not get back into points with the damage. More options in 22. Yes, well, kind of. Everything's just been tweaked and improved a little bit. So graphically, it's a little bit sharper, a little bit smoother, a little bit nicer. Frame rate is a bit smoother, at least on the PS5. I don't know about, PC's difficult to say because it all depends on what graphics cards you're running. PS4 seems a little bit smoother than it did last time, but the graphics are obviously not quite as polished as the PS5 version. Difficulty has been up a little bit. AI is definitely more combative in racing. Although if you know what you're doing, you can still develop a pretty powerful car. I've seen people, winning championships with Williams in Season 2 still. But the Williams is a much better car this time around than it was last time, so maybe it's not quite so difficult. The biggest challenge was really, the most realistic comparison would be, did they get Alfa Romeo to a championship in Season 2? I haven't seen anyone do that yet. We've got another spin.
We've got a yellow flag.
And that's Nico Hulkenberg.
So we're heading now into turn 5.
Driver development is a little bit better. Ooh,
And once it started,
whoa!
we were pretty powerless to do anything.
That's a very dangerous spin there. Cost cap is definitely a thing this time round. Car development has been improved. It's not quite so overpowered. Emergency construction now costs you an arm and a leg. Yeah, overall it's an all-round better package. There's still room for improvement. Obviously the addition of sprints is nice as well, as is the visor cam, but the visor cam doesn't really change the racing. But yeah, overall I think it's a solid improvement, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they can build on this for the next iteration. So we're keeping a watching brief at the moment. Let's just give George a little bit of battery now, see if he can close up on the back of Stroll. The Astons have stopped their push. Just got to make sure we don't lose Lewis in the process. The driver confidence system is nice. That really does affect how your drivers perform in the Grand Prix. It probably needs just a little bit of refining here and there, but for the most part, I think it's a solid addition. Alright, there we go. We've just snuck in, but we've just lost Lewis in the process. See if we can get him back in. There we go, just. Ooh, that's close. I think we've got both our drivers into DRS now. Yes, we have. Excellent. Okay. Evening banner. So now the tactical games are definitely incoming. Do Aston Martin go for a one-stop or a two-stop? Do we split our drivers? Maybe go one on a one-stop, one on a two-stop? Where it gets a little bit interesting. Lewis has got his confidence back up to where he started. That's good. Did Aston bring upgrades? It's looking that way, yeah. They qualified first and third, and with George getting a penalty, that meant they had the front row lockout. So, yeah, it's looking like they've brought some upgrades. They were definitely very punchy at the start. We've had to hunt them down a bit. But yeah, they out-qualified us on genuine pace. Could be a very close race. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a 1 second difference on paper between the one stop and the two stop. The one stop is a second faster, but you know, you do run the risk of tyres falling away a little bit. Stroll is just clinging on to Alonso. I think he might disappear in a second, which means we might possibly be able to jump him. Just trying to get some more fuel saving done, get a little bit more battery in the car. So we're not going to force the overtake. I'm content to just sit behind Stroll for another lap. I'm even going to try dropping the tyre pace down ever so slightly. Speaking of tyres, let's take a look. Oops. There we go. So we do have a grip advantage over the two Astons at the moment. Not a significant one, but a little bit. It all adds up. This gives us also, if we can protect our tyres a little bit more, this gives us the flexibility to maybe go for the one stop. One thing I have been pondering is whether or not one stops are generally worth it in this game, because driver confidence is everything. And if you're in a position where you're just getting overtaken because you don't have the pace, because you're stretching those tyres, your confidence of taking a hit, your pace is dropping, and then you box, you get some good tyres, and you can maybe claw back some of that confidence you lost, but maybe not all of it, and then your tyres start falling away earlier than the rest of the grid because they're on a two-stop, and they're coming through with fresh tyres, and you start losing pace again as you start getting overtaken and your confidence drops. Starting to really wonder whether or not one stops are actually all that viable. I think it depends on the circuit, but in a situation like this where it's close, I think the two-stop is probably the smarter way to go. It all depends how good your car is, I think. You know, the better your car, the more successful a one-stop is likely to be, because the less cars are going to be, you know, overtaking you. But when you're in a team that's lower down the order, you do not want to be on a one-stop, because, you know, your best chance of getting up the grid is with high confidence. And without it, you know, you're just going to languish at the back. I've only really been paying attention to that for the last few days. I've not built up enough of a genuine case study to say that's definitively the case yet. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've tried doing Alpha Tauri, just the first few races of the season, on a couple of different occasions over the weekend with different driver lineups to see how that works. I tried it with the standard drivers of De Vries and Tsunoda. I also tried it with Ricciardo and Tsunoda, and I tried it with Alonso and Ricciardo, and I've got a new file which I've just started with Alonso and Bottas and AlphaTauri. It pretty much bankrupted me to sign them, to the point where I couldn't afford to do any research until after Bahrain. But so I missed out on completely on the first ATR period, which was only like 2 weeks, because I was in debt. But that debt was cleared after Bahrain, and I'm 2 races in, I think, maybe 3 races in on that file, and yeah, having really talented drivers certainly helps, because I mean, I finished just outside the points. I finished like 11th and 12th in Jeddah with AlphaTauri with Alonso and Bottas. I think I was 11th and 13th in Bahrain. I can't remember where I did in Melbourne. I might not have actually done the Melbourne Grand Prix yet. Can't remember. Right, Stroll is now vulnerable, so we are going to go for Stroll.
Okay.
So Perez pit lane now.
So again, it's a little tricky to say, but one thing I have noticed is that, you know, if you don't have high, you know, if your confidence is constantly taking a battering, then it just makes it really hard to make the one stop work. Because, you know, if you make a mistake, your drivers drop their confidence really badly, and then you start getting the negative modifiers to your pace. And when your drivers aren't great, then that has a much more, you know, devastating impact than a driver who's a really strong driver, like a Lewis or a George, for example. You know, negative modifiers to them in a good car with their stats is not the end of the world. Negative modifiers on Nick De Vries in a shit car is, you know, disastrous.
Just push.
Understood.
Oh, we have a yellow flag. As George makes his move on Stroll, we're going to lock up for Pierre.
Right, let's follow the action now at turn 7.
Is he boxed already?
The brakes couldn't cope. Now, they did leave it
On those
very
mediums,
late.
or was he only on... I could have sworn both of them were on softs. Yeah, they've both boxed already. I must have missed that. Where are they? Ocon, oh no, Ocon hasn't boxed. He's down in 16th. 16th! Gasly has boxed. He's in 19th, so he's just boxed. Right, I think Russell's just missed out on DRS against Alonso there, but it was safe against Stroll here. As Ocon and Schumacher now into the pits. They are also soft runners, so they are both going on to mediums, I would imagine. As Lewis gets up the inside of Stroll.
This is awesome work, Lewis. Come on.
And now Russell is all over the back of Alonso. Lewis isn't far behind. Gonna try and go around the outside through Stowe. Side by side. Still side by side.
This is good.
And Lewis is trying to get through as well. Has to back out a little bit, but George has completed the move. Now this will give Alonso DRS.
Keep plugging away.
Push and hold it, overtake.
Give George a best chance to try and defend that.
Getting that pack back up.
Understood.
There we go. And we are going to stick to the plan of a one-stop. Sorry, of a two-stop, I think. Oh, Albon's had a big crash
We've had a
with
big
Charles
crash here.
Leclerc, I think.
Reports of debris.
Oh yeah, a little clumsy.
No. No.
Alonso trying to find his way back through. We've dropped Stroll. And we're going to lock up for Hulkenberg.
Let's have a look then at turn 6. And the car fails to
Who
respond.
locks up into
But
Brooklands.
that's just the risk you take. The later you leave it.
Right, pit windows are coming up next lap. This is going to be a A tense old battle with Alonso here. As Ocon sets a new fastest lap on those tyres. He's gone on to soft, so he's going soft, soft, medium. Gasly on a flyer as well. Okay, looking at the tyre wear, I think the Astons are going to two-stop. I think Verstappen may possibly go for the one-stop.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off the cliff on that tyre.
So we got the gap to Stroll at about 2 seconds now, which is nice. Ricciardo and Hulkenberg are into the box. I actually thought this would be Hamilton's weekend over Russell, but Russell just seems to have had the edge since qualifying. He's looked that little step quicker all through the race weekend so far. Although, having said that, you know, he doesn't have to contend with dirty air at the moment, which probably helps. There is Stroll. He's still keeping pace. And he's still faster than Verstappen as well. Right, we are in the pit windows. We are a couple of laps away, so we're going to just go for it in terms of tyres.
See what you got then.
And see if we can charge some battery at the same time. This is a bit of a risk. Will leave us vulnerable coming out of the slow corners, but I'm hopeful that the extra grip of burning these tyres will play nicely with that. We are going to have to think about which driver is going to get box priority. I think it's going to have to be Russell, really. He is leading. Alright, let's see. I've got to box one of my drivers. Let's call Russell in. And we'll confirm Lewis for the following lap.
So box, 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 box.
This is where Alonso peels in as well. Oh no, Alonso stayed out. Excellent. So Lewis is going to get DRS and a chance to get an overtake done, which will give him an extra little bit of confidence before the pits. Clean start, 2.016. That's a very quick stop.
And the track will be clear on exit.
Use the overtake.
Charge the pack.
Alonso's got a quick car. He held that off. And we're going to take the gloves off our cars now as well.
Just show me what you've got there.
Lewis isn't going to get this move done. Alonso is fighting like crazy, which means he's probably boxing here as well.
Let's charge that pack.
Oh, no, he's not. Okay. Oh, don't tell me he's one-stopping. He might be one-stopping. We've got Verstappen boxing behind us. I thought he was going to two-stop. He's going for softs as well. Right, need a clean stop. There we go, 2.05. That's good. That's very good. Sainz is in.
So should be all clear on exit.
He's also going for soft tyres.
Just need to make sure we keep these tyres.
Very close between our two drivers. Lewis just getting the DRS. That was very close, but his tyres are not going to be up to temperature. Deliberately not burning the tyres, and there is Alonso into the box. So this is crucial. Is he going for hards? Stroll's coming in as well. They're going to double stack. Oh, now this is brave. It's a slow stop. He's gone soft, and Stroll is going hard. They're splitting the strategy. Alonso two-stopping, Stroll is one-stopping. Well, we have jumped Alonso. He's under pressure from Albon, who's yet to stop. Albon will have the DRS. If he can get in front of Alonso and just hold him up for a lap, that would be amazing. We jumped Alonso pretty convincingly there. We're nearly 5 seconds clear of him. Oh, he had that slow start as well. He will have lost probably a couple of seconds on his stop by the look of it. Meanwhile, R2 both up to temperature on those tyres. And thankfully, Stroll is not in Verstappen's DRS. That would have been catastrophic, because that would have given Stroll soft tyre pace on hard tyres. So he's going to start dropping back. You can see Tsunoda is hunting him down and Perez is not too far behind.
And you're the fastest man on track.
Albon into the box. Alonso goes quickest. Tsunoda has been dropped just. Those tyres heating up nicely now as Tsunoda's tyres are dying. Perez should get him on this lap here. Once again though, we're seeing decent pace from the Williams. And next up is Gasly, who has already stopped once. He stopped early as well, so might be another set of mediums for Gasly. Right, let's keep an eye on lap times. As Alonso is being hunted down very quickly by Verstappen here. We have just about finished fuel saving with George, and we're not too far off fuel saving with Lewis. I imagine Yuki's going to box very soon if he hasn't already. Have a look. His tyres are still pretty good, so he must have been a very early pit stop. Now you see the difference in tyre wear, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't pushing the tyres when they came out the box. Max has caught Alonso. Just about. Issue with the pits for Valtteri. Alonso is closing on us. We're not really pushing at the moment. I don't want my drivers to take each other out, so let's make sure that they go to less aggressive overtaking. And we are slowing each other down.
Do what you can.
Going to give both drivers a little squirt of battery for a bit.
Hold it, overtake.
I'm not going to go for the fastest lap on this stint. We'll wait for the next stint and do it on that one. But make no mistake about it, we are in a fight today, not with ourselves. Well, obviously with ourselves, but not just with ourselves, with Alonso as well, and you have to say with Max as well. If he can stay with Alonso.
And we can drop the lifter coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Understood.
Fuel is no longer an issue. We'll have some spare fuel to play with on our final stint. George, absolutely peak confidence right now. He's doing another one of his defensive super jobs. I don't think Lewis has had a sniff. A lot of failed attempts by Lewis. We've built the gap back up just a little bit, but Alonso's still quick, look, 129.1. Same as us. Does look like he's pushing his tyres a little bit though. Right, let's go into top up with both drivers. Oh, and Lewis makes the move with the DRS. He finally gets himself through.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
Understood.
That gives him a nice little confidence boost, and that will hurt George's confidence a little bit, but he's still in peak. Ah, now he dips out with a failed overtake. Gaps at 3 seconds. And Max is back in DRS range. Let's keep an eye on Max for a second. He's going to close up here on the hang straight. Stroll now 10 seconds off the back of these two.
There seems to be some great resistance.
And now Hamilton is into peak. Forward to those new wings that are coming for our car. I think they'll make a nice bit of difference to our pace. It's looking like we're going to need them now with with Alonso's pace. And Max has been able to stick with him. Alonso's back inside 2 seconds again. Alonso is seriously quick here this weekend. And I say, our two drivers fighting, it's not helping. It's possible we may have to re-implement team orders, which I'm loath to do. But Alonso is just eating up the ground between our cars at the moment. Less than 1.5 seconds now. Oh, an absolute flyer from Alonso, 128.2. He's 1.5 seconds faster than us. And he's in DRS range, almost. He will be by the time we get to the next DRS zone. His tyres are still in decent shape as well. You see Alonso's 72%. They're less than George's now, so he has definitely been pushing them, but Max, his tyres are really strong. Oh, sorry, it's Hamilton on 72%. I was going to say George pitted first. Why are his tyres better? Right, we're going to just look after the tyres a little bit more. Now that Alonso's here, we may as well just live with it. And if we can just eke out a bit more tyre life, it'll give us more room to push at the end of the stint, try and break away again. Probably should have done this a little bit earlier, but never mind. Yeah, Max has been dropped, and I don't think he's going to have the pace to close back up again. He's only been just about hanging on to the back of Alonso. And now that he's got 2.5 seconds of clear air, I think it's going to be very difficult for Max to get back in this fight. He's got the worst tyres of the four of us. As Gasly gets past Leclerc. Sainz has forced his way up to 6th, Perez in 7th. Williams have struggled a little bit since their pit stop, down 14th and 15th. They're kind of stuck in traffic right now. Magnussen and Piastri causing a bit of a roadblock for them. Let's see if we can maybe overheat Alonso's tyres a little bit. I would love to start charging the battery a bit more significantly, but I just cannot take that risk with Alonso sniffing around the back of us like this. Albon had an issue on his stop. Thank you. Yeah, I did wonder how he got back. Yuki got in front of him by 5 seconds, 6, 7 seconds. He was behind him before the stops. Hamilton's tyre pace is going to need to pick up just a touch.
Yep.
There we go. Get those temps back up again. Also looking for a lunge, maybe. Just letting George know he's there. Oh, we got a yellow flag.
Let's have a look
up on Nico Hülkenberg.
Nico Hülkenberg.
That's another set of tyres he's destroyed.
Nothing at this point. The wheels just lock up there. They were just unable to do much about it.
All right, pit window is coming up.
Discharge the pack.
Let's look at starting to try and build a little bit more battery by improving our tyre pace to try and compensate.
Recovery.
I don't know if the fastest lap is going to be possible with the pace of Alonso's car. Not without DRS anyway. It's going to be a fascinating final stint. Oh, I forgot to change the gearbox in Lewis's car.
Copy, we're looking.
Whoops. In the packings. Oh, does that mean his ERS is going to be vulnerable as well? That should just about get through. Well, that's not ideal.
It's not going to be long now, mate.
Copy.
Alright, we're into the window.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
Hamilton is going to get the nod this time around. Although his tyres are worse, I think it might be the smarter call to actually box Russell first. How are you tonight, Packins? Who's going to blink first? Alonso.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Copy.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
He's definitely trying. Stroll is too far behind to be able to be a factor in this race. It is a 3-horse race for the win here between our two drivers and Alonso. I think Max is just not quite quick enough tonight.
No management here required.
Just stay close to him.
And think about left lifting coast.
Understood.
I don't really want to burn the battery, but I might have to just to try and break away from Alonso a little bit. Try and stretch this another lap.
Push and hold, overtake.
Copy.
And I'm going to go ahead and box George this lap.
Box, box.
Yes, box.
So just charge that pack.
Understood.
Alright, here we go then. Crucial
Use
stop
the
for George.
overtake.
Understood.
2.047, that's good. It's not the quickest tonight, but it's not far off. Where's he going to feed back in? Just in front of Stroll. Beautifully played.
Just reduce your speed.
Coming.
Hamilton has opened up a 4-second gap, but is going to have to fuel save for a couple of laps when he gets back.
Box, box.
And his battery is pretty much gone.
In the boxes, sir.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Here we go. Oh, issue for Piastri.
AFM Lewis.
Alonso staying out again, as is Verstappen. .1. It's the slowest of our 4 stops tonight, but it's still a strong stop. It's going to be very close, but he's going to have the edge over George just. There is George. Still ahead of Stroll. Here comes Russell. Got a yellow flag. Please don't bring out a VSC or a safety car.
Oh dear, a crash. There's been a crash. Right then, we
Oh,
can take a
Alfa
look now.
Romeo taking each
Now,
other
this was
out.
the Alfa Romeo.
Rule 1, you never hit your
Dangerously close
teammate.
to each other. And the impact
Minimal
on the
contact
car,
there between the
it's
two.
quite clear.
And Alonso and Verstappen have both boxed. Now we should come out a good few seconds ahead of these guys. And we're going to see dodgy stops again. No, clean for both drivers. Alonso did lose a couple of seconds on his last stop. We are through into the lead. Stroll is in third, but will not have the pace to stay with us. You can see he's already dropped off the back of Russell now. But that means he's going to be in the way of Alonso and Max. Perez into the box for a new set of softs. Will he get out ahead of Sainz? No, is the answer. So, that's our tyre situation. And I am going to put both my drivers into
Let's just manage these tyres.
slightly lower tyre pace. We've got a little bit of a buffer, as you can see, to Alonso. He's 4 seconds at the back of his teammate, but going to be closing quick. We're still fast enough to run at this pace and still be faster than Stroll, I think. I just want to make sure that we don't burn out our tyres, because we did stop earlier. do have the fastest lap at the moment, but that is not secure. We will have to have a push for that at some point soon, while we have the rubber. And there we go, fastest lap beaten already by Charles Leclerc, a 1:28.1. A 1:28.2 is George's best, and he set the fastest lap before that. 1:28.3 for Lewis. We can easily beat those, beat that time. I just want to be a little bit more cautious. There is Alonso on the screen, and there's Max coming into view. So I think Max is too far off. He's 4 seconds off the back of Alonso. If he pushes like crazy, he might get onto the back of Alonso, but then Alonso can just go push and break that straight away. So I think it's too big a gap for Verstappen to get involved. Right, we are going to go for a fastest lap at the end of this lap with both drivers. It's probably going to be George that gets it because he's got the DRS. His sight sets a new fastest lap, a 1:27.8. He should still be able to beat that, but it's a little trickier. Alonso has got past Stroll already. Wow, that was quick. I did not even see that happening. So yeah, Stroll's on. Alonso's on a push lap. He's flying right now. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to do the same.
We're not worried about using the tyres up. Okay.
Yellow flag. Saul's had a big spin. It's Norris. Into the gravel. Don't think that'll be an easy recovery there.
Let's push and get past him. So head down. Yep.
And there is Alonso setting a fastest lap of 1:27.2. Yeah, that is a bit more what I was expecting to see. It's going to be George's fastest lap because of that DRS. But I'm not too bothered which my driver gets it as long as one of them gets it. Because we did promise the sponsors. And as soon as we've done this flying lap, we're going straight back into charge mode. Well, maybe not charge mode, certainly tyre cooling mode though. Protect that rubber to the end.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
Yep.
Well, Lewis actually kept the fastest lap. I did not expect that.
Fastest lap. And we're just going to need to introduce a little bit of lift and coast.
Understood.
Really did not expect that. How close was that?
If we could just drop back a bit.
1:26.7. Actually, I can just check it this way, can't I? Oh, look at that. 7.68 versus a 7.86. That was close. That was very close. Lewis just on the border of peak confidence. George a little bit lower. And we pulled out 2 seconds on Alonso on that lap. Got the gap back to 5 seconds. We should be safe. But I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. If we have a spin or a lock-up or even just running wide, that gap gone.
And we can drop the lifter coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Okay, which pass is that in front of us? Please don't be Hulkenberg. It's Hulkenberg. Ah! Of course it's bloody Hulkenberg. Alright, well, we managed to negotiate that without any dramas. Hamilton's race to lose, he could still crash. Good to see the optimism there from both points of view. Alonso closing the gap a little bit. Taking about half a second out of us, but again, we're on a lower pace setting at the moment to protect the tyres, make sure we've got the grip at the end where we need it. Plus, Alonso will hopefully, well, I say will hopefully, will potentially, I hope he doesn't, but we'll potentially get DRS on these overtakes past the back markers as well. He's past the AlphaTauri of Ricciardo. It's too far away from Hulkenberg at the moment. When's the next big upgrade on the cars in performance? About a month's time, about 30 odd days, until the designs are finished, and then another 10 days to get the parts made. So don't think, well, maybe Spa, if not Zandvoort or Monza. I think probably Zandvoort / Monza. I don't think we'll get them in time for Spa. Which means we could potentially be off the pace at Spa against the Astons if they bring another update. I don't think they will. I think this was their big update for a little while. But if they do bring more updates to Spa, we're in trouble. So just 3.6 seconds behind now, and he's about to get a pass done on Hulkenberg. He's not going to get the DRS. In fact, I think he's already done the move. Yeah, he did it into club. We've got Zhou in front of us now. And there is Alonso. He's just 3 seconds behind us. He is definitely pushing compared to us. We're a second off the pace. But we have brought that tyre wear deficit back. We're still slightly down on Alonso, but Hamilton now in better shape than Alonso's tyres. As you can see, Max is now 7 seconds off the back of Alonso. So he is not in this race. Just going to up Lewis's tyre pace at the front slightly.
Pick up the pace.
Understood.
He's got a little bit more rubber to burn than Russell does. So keep Russell in a slightly lower pace setting. And if it comes down to it, I will instigate team orders on my drivers. I really don't want to have to do that, but I really want to 1-2 after the last few races that we've had. Ever since Barcelona, things have just been a bit weird. Barcelona was a nightmare. Montreal was a bit of a dodgy race for us as well. And then we came through that one in pretty strong, with a pretty strong result in the end. But it could have been a lot. It could have been a lot easier than it was. And then Austria was just another disappointingly bad race for us. So yeah, we need a little bit of normal service resumed. Sainz doing his business quietly. Yeah, he's up to 7th and he's on the back of Perez. But his tyres are significantly worse. I think Perez will hold him off. And he is probably safe from Gasly. But I think 7th is the best he's going to do.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Understood.
2.5 seconds to gap. Alonso is building back up.
5 laps.
5 laps to go. And I think we've probably got enough rubber left to just go normal now. But yeah, Alonso has pushed his tyres so much now. Let's get our drivers
And happy to pick up the
back up
pushing
to
level.
pace.
Copy.
Still got a little bit of spare fuel as well. Not much, but a little bit.
To go.
This is going to be a very tight finish, and I really don't want Alonso to get himself involved in this as well. Just keeping an eye on that gap, waiting to see if he's going to try and interject himself again. I've got some tyre wear to play with, I've got a little bit of fuel to play with, and a little bit of battery to play with, but not enough battery in Lewis's car. Max on a little bit of a push, by the look of it. Yeah, a 127.1. Trying to close the gap back up. Stroll's tyres just about hanging on. He's probably far enough ahead of Perez to not worry about that. Sainz has now dropped off the back of Perez, so that's Sainz's race done. He just won't have the grip left to keep up with Perez there. Like I say, I don't think Perez has got enough time left to hunt down Stroll. Oh, got a yellow flag. That is Tsunoda, I think, maybe. Yep.
Now we should be able to take a look here. This one is involving Yuki Tsunoda. Things look fine here. And there goes the steering. And they'll need to
he
be
dropped 2
mindful of the
places.
effect that had on the tyres.
Ah, poor Yuki. I wonder if Alonso has given up. Gap's at 3 seconds now. Poor Yuki doing a Yuki. He's not really, he doesn't really do Yukis that often anymore. He did in the last game all the fucking time, but he's been good so far in season 2 here at Williams. He's been very good. Been desperately unlucky on a couple of occasions as well, but I think he's outscored Albon in points. Yeah, Alonso is dropping off the back. Verstappen is closing him down. Again, I don't think there's enough time left. Tyre wear is negligible in terms of difference. Stroll has got to be careful because he could potentially get a puncture. I don't think he will, but you never know. Same for Hulkenberg as well, actually. He's trying to look a bit shocked.
Two more laps.
And see the gap now, 4 seconds. I think Alonso's just settled. I've noticed that the AI does tend to really ease off in the last few laps, whether it's down to them pushing too hard and then having to fuel save, but I've noticed a pattern where you can make up quite a lot of time on the AI in the last 2 or 3 laps if you go full push. And I think Alonso perhaps over-pushed his fuel and is having to save fuel now. Because Max is hunting him down quite quickly, as you can see. It's not tyres, and I don't think it's car condition. I think it is purely he's pushed too hard on the fuel and is having to save it. Hulkenberg is about to hit the point where his tyres are vulnerable to punctures. And now so is Sainz. And this is a circuit where those punctures are definitely available because you put a lot of stress and strain on the tyres. As we start the final lap, George just doesn't seem to have an answer for Lewis at the moment. In fact, it looks like he's dropping off slightly. I mean, his tyres are a little bit worse. I think he's out of DRS. It's going to be really close. Did he get it? No, he didn't. Alonso 4.5 seconds off. Verstappen is now just 4 seconds off the back. There he is, just popping into the back of the string. I don't think he's going to catch it. There's a lot to make up in one lap, and I think Russell has just lost it. I think his tyres have gone. It's going to be a win for Lewis by the look of it. He's going to get the fastest lap as well. Russell will get second place, so that'll only be 9 points difference between the two in terms of changing the constructors, the drivers' championship. But yeah, you can see Russell just falling away now.
Awesome race, mate.
Mega job.
Yeah, you've taken the checkered flag. So that's Pete.
Lewis Hamilton picks up the win.
Just the perfect end to what has been a thrilling race.
So there we go, a 1-2.
Flag is out.
Alonso does take third place. Max just couldn't quite hang with him in the end. Stroll, a long way back actually. I thought he'd be closer than that. The one-stop really not working for Stroll there. But he does finish ahead of Perez. Sainz is 5th. In the end, he lost quite a bit of time in that closing lap or two against Perez. Gasly will get 8th, Leclerc 9th, and Ocon will take the final point. And then the last two Brits coming up to the line. Here comes Norris. And here comes Alex. And there we go. So he finishes just ahead of Magnussen in the end. Yuki is going to take 14th, Piastri will be 15th, and then Schumacher down the laps. And there we go. That is your British Grand Prix.
Wow, what a fantastic drive from Lewis Hamilton.
Incredible. That was a really well-deserved win. They got their race strategy absolutely spot on.
But just look at this. The overwhelming excitement for those celebrating this achievement. The highly decorated record breaker from Stevenage once again taking to the podium.
And that's excellent, seeing both the team's drivers up there on the podium together.
Well, we might be in Britain, but our podium finishers won't be celebrating with a cup of tea tonight. They'll be staying true to Formula One tradition. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And here in Silverstone, the weekend now draws to a close.
Next round, we're moving on to an exhilarating circuit. Formula One will be taking to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand
I
Prix.
wouldn't call Hungaroring exhilarating. Oh dear. Well, there we go. That is the confirmation of the final result. A win for Lewis, second place for George. Both drivers gaining some positions there, as you can see. Alonso didn't quite have the pace, but he threatened for a long time. And like I say, that Aston Martin is definitely looking a little bit racy. Poor strategy choice for Stroll saw him drop down from 2nd to 5th in the end. Max hanging on to 4th. Good race for Perez, gaining 2 places. Great recovery for Sainz, gaining 10 places. So he actually had a good afternoon for a change. Leclerc didn't really do anything in the race, stayed in 9th. Gasly dropping a couple of places, and to Ocon, but both Alpines still managing to get some points. Norris up 5 places, but it wasn't enough to get onto the into the top 10. Williams, a bit of a disappointing race for them. Albon dropping a couple of places. Yuki also dropping places. Piastri did gain 3, as did Schumacher and Ricciardo. Decent running for the AlphaTauris. Poor race for Bottas, Hülkenberg and Zhou. All a long way down the order. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. George still leads. The gap is now down to 21 points. And I think that's only Lewis's second win of the season. Yeah, there we go. Look, only his second win of the season. So George definitely has lost a little bit of momentum in the last couple of races, but is still comfortably ahead in terms of race wins. So if the two do finish tied, then at the moment it's advantage for George on countback, because he will have more wins, or at least as things currently stand anyway. Max in 3rd does claim 12 points. He is a long way back off of our 2 drivers, and just stretch his legs a little bit over his teammate, pulling out another 4 points. They are now separated by 18 points. Lance Stroll moves up to 5th. 10 points for him on the back of his race win in the last Grand Prix. Sees him jump Charles Leclerc now by 3 points. Alonso gaining 2 places with his podium today. That is his first podium of the season, and sees him onto 64 points. Ocon jumping his teammate. These two are going to... Oh no, didn't jump his teammate. Both drivers dropping a place to Alonso, and Gasly closing the gap back up to just a point again. These two are going to keep swapping places all through the season like they did last year. Sainz now gets himself back into the top 10 with that 6 points, puts him on 44. He's clear of Norris, but still lagging behind the Alpines. And then as we scroll further down, still the usual suspects yet to score: Bottas, Schumacher and Ricciardo. Let's take a look at the constructors. There you can see another maximum points for Mercedes. We are now 207 points clear of Red Bull. Nice healthy lead there. Ferrari, what can you say with Ferrari? You know, they are clinging on to 4th place above Alpine at the moment. Not really scoring much themselves. Kind of let off a little bit by Alpine, not getting many points today. Aston Martin are closing the gap slowly to Red Bull, and if these upgrades continue, that gap could get closer as the season continues. So we might see a scrap between Aston and Red Bull for second. You never know. As we look at the DHL Pit Stop Award, we have the fastest 2 stops, a 2.01 and a 2.05. And you can see a couple more drivers now into the 2.1s, both of the Red Bulls. They are getting quicker in terms of their pit stops. They're going to be keeping us honest, and if we're not careful, will be taking that from us. In terms of points, you can see we are well clear of Red Bull at the moment, and they are in turn well clear of McLaren. Ferrari not really getting much in the way of points today. They are lagging there as well. Alpine do hunt them down a little bit. So we've got a championship fight in both competitions here between Ferrari and Alpine, the pit stop challenge and also the constructors. Now you can see the order of the stops. The 2 fastest stops of the day were both for George Russell. Lewis fractionally slower on his stop to get 3rd, and then his other stop was a fair bit slower. So let's take a look at the driver stats. 16 successful defences for George. He was mighty on that first stint. It kind of fell apart a little bit for him towards the end of the second stint. Once Lewis got through, that was pretty much it. I don't think George retook the position once Lewis took the lead. Let's see, 4 successful overtakes, 10 fails. Similar story for Lewis in terms of overtaking: 3 successful overtakes, 10 failed, 9 successful defences and 2 failed. So a good afternoon for both of our drivers there in terms of defence. Not quite so good going forward. And of course we did get some more experience for Teo as well. In terms of our sponsors, we pay out a £525,000 bonus. That's $500,000 for Lewis and 25k for George. In terms of our guarantees, we passed all of those. We met the incentives as well, so no dropped sponsorship money in that respect. We come out with another 4.2 mil. Alright, side pod research is done. And suspension research will be done the next day. So we're going to wait till that is done first of all. Let's see, car inspection parts, we know some stuff has failed. We've got a replacement front wing needed and a replacement suspension needed. I'm not sure if I have those parts. I think I do. We'll deal with that in a moment. Monthly car developments, there you can see where we stand on the grid. So at the start of the month, this is weird, it says we're first in high speed, but we weren't. We were 3rd in high speed. Interesting. Let's have a look at the F2 results. You can see Behrman taking the win at Silverstone here. Good for him. Financial report for June is done. We are good there. Board confidence. They have high confidence in us, which is always nice to hear. Driver update. Let's see if our drivers have improved. No improvements for Lewis. George's control goes up by a point, and Teo improves his smoothness by 2 points and his reactions by 2 points. So Teo is coming along very nicely. And there is confirmation that the side pod upgrade or side pod research is done. Now you can see where the gains are going to be made over the season. Let's set the training schedule for our pit crew for the next month. And I would like to try and work on pit stop times a little bit more. Let's take a little bit of the car building out for that. Do need to find a little bit more car release training. There we go. Let's swap that to gym training as well. I'm reticent to go any higher on that because we are creeping up on the fatigue level. Let's just take that day off. There we go. So that will put us at 42% for the month in terms of fatigue. That'll improve our pit stop accuracy. We'll get another 3 thousandths maybe, and car building will improve a little bit. So yeah, let's go with that. Okay, right, now speaking of cars, let's swap out these parts. So let's replace the front wing and the suspension. There we go. And that was the last front wing and last suspension we had in stock as spares. But we do have a couple more front wings coming and a couple more suspensions coming. So no massive drama there. Okay, let's advance time 1 day, get the suspension research complete. We have an F1 in Schools invitation, and we'll attend that this year. Suspension research complete. Let's start researching some more parts. We have yet to do an underfloor project. Let's go ahead and get one of those started. 62 days until the next ATR period. So no hours getting added in. Everything is getting a 10% reduction, so we're just going to leave everything as is. No major gains. And we'll just put 2 engineers on that. And let's see. Let's do another side pod upgrade, I think, or another side pod project. Again, we'll leave everything as is. We'll go 2 engineers on that. And that leaves me a couple of extra engineers to allocate here to try and speed these up a little bit. So, 31 days until this is done. So yeah, we're not going to get these for Spa, as you can see. We will get them for Zandvoort. I'm actually going to leave them as they are, so that we can get that extra expertise gain for those extra few days. We don't need to really push that too much. So let's just up the engineers on that, so that we get all of our projects coming round at the same kind of time. There we go. Right, let's have a look at our facilities. We've got 6.7 mil. We could afford to finally do the team hub, but let's have a look at other stuff. Everything in here is okay at the moment. CFD simulator will need a refurb soon. Suspension simulator wasn't too far behind it. Race sim's fine. Everything there is good. Boardroom is going through. 16 days till that's done. The helipad is about to break. We'll have to refurb that almost straight away. Do I want to boost the hospitality? Given that we've potentially got to do some upgrades to our drivers again, let's make sure it's at least refurbed. 6.5 mil, I can afford it. Parts are coming. The Nothing else is really pressing right now, so let's go ahead and do that upgrade. There we go. So that's left me with just 67,000, but we have got the final upgrade for the Team Hub coming. That'll be ready in 67 days. We're spending all this money building up Mercedes, and then we're going to be leaving them. So, yeah, maybe not the smartest idea, but there we go. Some more manufacturing has been done. Low stock on chassis, we know about that, that's fine. Let's go take a look at car parts. You can see we've got spare wings popping in like crazy. We're back to 2 spare underfloors, 1 spare chassis. We're not working on a chassis, are we? No, let's go ahead and, well, let's just check. 86%. 59%, so that is going to wear out soon. Yeah, let's go ahead and make 1 extra chassis. Oh, we don't have the money. I forgot we just spent all of our money. Alright, let's not make another chassis. And hey, we have resolved the issues between George and Marcus. That's good to see. Sorted. Right, new regulations for next season. Sporting changes. In a bid to keep F1 as competitive as possible, we are proposing a new set of CFD and wind tunnel limits which will offer advantages to lower placed teams without starving the top teams of their testing times. Let's have a look. So, I am going to approve that without really paying too much attention to the limits because it will close up the grid. Which is always a good thing. Always makes for a bit more dramatic racing. So we will vote for this proposed change. Let's see if the rest of the top teams go that way as well. I'd like to think the smaller teams will, but you never know. They have a history of voting against their own interests in this game. Race prep. There we go. So that is it. That is as far as we can go tonight. So let's take a quick overview of where we are then. We lead the Constructors' Championship by 207 points. That is looking more and more locked in as we go, but we are under pressure from Aston Martin. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's very close between our two still. 21 points apart. Lewis has picked up win number 2, 2.5 if you count the sprint. George sitting pretty with 7 wins so far this season, and we're both a long way clear of the 2 Red Bulls at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. So it is still looking like it's going to be just a straight fight between our 2 drivers for the title, but things can change. We've had some dodgy results in the past. We've had some forced retirements due to accidents and damage. It's possible that might happen again, and that will obviously eliminate some of the gap between us and our rivals. So it's still all to play for. It's not a guarantee, but it's looking likely that we're going to clinch both titles this season, which will be nice. And then obviously we'll be on to pastures new to try our luck at a different team. And we should have a high enough managerial rating to go pretty much anywhere we want. As well, so we can really start to have a look and see how teams are doing and where we might want to head to next. But that's it for me for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, at 9 PM UK time. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. If you have, maybe give us a like. If you're new, why not consider subscribing so you know when we're going to go live. And I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.